If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
I've been putting off this post for days, but I keep coming back to the idea. The irony is strong with this one. Where do I even begin? I think it's with the distinction that writer's block and lack of motivation are not the same thing. When you have writer's block, you want to get the writing done, but the ideas aren't flowing. Or too many are flowing and you can't pin down the right idea. But a lack of motivation is worse. I know how it goes. You're at work all day, you stare at a computer all day, and then you come home to what? Stare at another computer screen? And then you feel guilty because you didn't write or work on your project at all. And then just the thought of writing feels awful. And when writing makes you feel bad, it's awfully easy not to do it. The first thing you must do is forgive yourself if you spend time not writing. I said what I said. Forgive yourself. Writing is not a chore, and it shouldn't make you dread sitting down to the computer or taking out a notebook. You are allowed to watch TV when you get home. You are allowed to sleep all Saturday. You are allowed to go out with your friends and family and socialize. When you focus 100% of yourself on your writing, you set yourself up for burnout. And when you've burnt yourself out on writing, it's harder to get your brain to a place where it can create. The second thing you must do is expand your definition of writing. Don't beat yourself up if you didn't put words down on paper today. Remember that there's more than just generating prose when you're working on a novel. Writing is outlining, making notes, drafting light scenes on the back of a napkin, daydreaming and letting your characters run wild, researching weird shit on the internet, drawing maps, making Pinterest boards and Spotify playlists, and building your own writing space so you can get your creative juices flowing each time you sit down to magically make words appear on paper. Give yourself credit for the things that don't increase your word count. If you drew a map today, good for you. If you just listened to the playlist you made for your world and let your mind wander, great. If you wrote an outline for 3 chapters but didn't write anything more, congratulations. These are important steps in creating your world and organizing your thoughts. And they are as much writing as filling a document with stories. Allow yourself to go outside and be stimulated. Take that however you want it, but leave your writing space. Don't bunker down in a corner thinking that a life without distractions is going to miraculously make you finish your work. Remember that burnout I mentioned? Let's talk about the science of the brain for a moment. When you get anxious, your brain restricts blood flow to non-essential areas of the brain. Basically, it sets you on autopilot and makes sure you eat once a day, breathe, don't walk into traffic. Isn't that fun? Did you also know that the reading and language center of the brain is considered non-essential? Now imagine getting so stressed out because you aren't writing that you can't write. The more stressed out you get about writing, the more your brain says, you don't need to be doing that. Because the brain is fun like that. And in all of that is the fact that humans are social on purpose. We need social interaction to relieve our anxiousness and stimulate our minds. We need conversation and physical company, or we will lose our minds, which will make it hard to write. So get up from your desk, or couch, or kitchen table, shut the laptop, or put down the pen and go somewhere. Make plans with friends for lunch, talk their ears off, and then go home and write. Write as soon as you come home from something fun and or relaxing. Carry that happy feeling with you to your writing space so that you can associate your writing space with happiness. Your word count doesn't need to increase every day. As I said before, writing includes all sorts of prep work. If all you did was prep work, you still created ideas for your work in progress, and that is progress in and of itself. The words will come to you, which sounds a little mystical, but it is true. They will flow from your fingertips when you are ready to write. Accept that it takes time to get into the correct headspace to write. Anxiety and depression aside, it takes time to decompress from the day. If you're capable of coming home, opening your laptop, and writing 1,000 words, great. If not, don't force it. Give yourself a set time and day to do the bulk of your writing, and forgive yourself if you don't meet your word count goals. There will be other days and other times. Set flexible limits and goals. You sit down to write in your designated time and space and allow for an hour to pass to get into your story, but nothing comes. It's okay. Give yourself one more hour and then move on to something else. Your work in progress will be there when you are ready. Reward yourself for working. Any work that gets done deserves some kind of reward so that you can continue to like the work. It sounds a little bit like, I lost 2 pounds, I should get a brownie to reward myself. And it sort of is. But unlike dieting and working out, the reward isn't going to make you go backwards. One way to do this is the Pomodoro method, or the tomato method. You write in 25-minute sprints, take 5-minute breaks, and eventually a longer 30-minute break. Each sprint you finish is a Pomodoro, or tomato. Set a few goals that cost Pomodoros and reward yourself for everything. And finally, don't seek motivation where you should be seeking habits. It's easy to say, I don't have the motivation to do it when you haven't been doing it. So start small, with an hour a day or every other day, and work toward making writing something that feels rewarding.